Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 289. We have more reviews of Tesla's Robotaxi coming in from Analyst that is very impressed. So impressed that Waymo is now coming out fighting Tesla because they know what is about to happen. And we finally have a victory against the unions that have been demonstrating against Tesla in Sweden. And Ark Invest has made a new research on Tesla's Robotaxis on what is needed to overtake all urban transport in Austin. And GM's record EV sales might be hiding a problem. And Elon had some very bad news about Tesla's new Model Y L. And we have a full self-driving in China doing stuff that no other self-driving car on the planet would be able to handle. But now even Ferrari is buying Chinese EVs to learn how to make great performing EVs. But shh, it's a secret. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
And we have more Robotaxi reviews coming in from more analysts, and they are actually getting it. So, Sawyer shared a review from William Blair, a global investment banking and asset management firm's analyst, Jed Dorsheimer, as he was out testing Tesla's Robotaxi service in Austin last week and wrote, "We experienced a glimpse of the future, and it is exciting. The comparisons are immediate and stark. When we drove past Waymo and Zook's vehicles outfitted with their complex sensor suite, they stuck out like a sore thumb. Yes, indeed. In contrast, the Robotaxi blend in with the other Teslas on the road. We felt inconspicuous following the traffic. Confirming our thesis, Robotaxis was half the price of Uber, showing its ability to win market share by weaponizing price. In Austin, we took multiple Robotaxis and Waymo rides. The contrast was clear. Aside from the visual difference between each pulling up to the curb, the Robotaxi was comfortable and familiar. It felt like a friendly ghost chauffeur was driving our personal car. Driving was smooth and human-like. Recognizing and patiently waiting for pedestrian, switching into less crowded lanes, patiently waiting to execute a safe unprotected turn, and yet discerning and confident enough to drive through a light that has just turned yellow so as not to slam on the brakes. Waymo also provided top-notch service, and we did not encounter any safety concern. But if we were to be overly critical, it felt more robotic. In the cabin, you have to listen to an airline-esque preamble on Waymo and safety protocols, and during the ride you can hear all the various spinning LiDAR sensors spooling up and down with electronic whizzing sound. In short, Robotaxi felt like a more luxurious service for half the cost, and driving felt more human-like. And Jed also said that he was surprised by this, so I guess he is not following Best in Tesla. Because this is not surprising, but this is what most people think, right? The world still don't get what Tesla is about to do. They think Waymo's technology is kind of the same, right? Wrong. As Jed also said, in their calculation, it cost Tesla 1/10 to put a Robotaxi on the street. So if that is the case, he of course doesn't know. But that would make Waymo worse competition than like Lucid is for Tesla in the EV world. Lucid is losing something like $250,000 per EV they sell in Q2 of this year. So that is not something we can call competition. But if Waymo is an order of magnitude more costly to operate than Tesla's Robotaxi, and I expect their calculation is done on Tesla's current Model Y working as a Robotaxi and not the Cybercab, well, then Waymo will never become a competitor. They might look like it now because they are leading in Robotaxi rides, but Tesla is coming with new technology that will disrupt the old tech Waymo and everyone else is basically using. But I'll get back to that in another story. But 1/10 of the cost might be a little high from Jed here, but Tesla will be, like he said, a better service for something like half the cost. And Tesla will be able to scale. And as Jet said, it is already driving better than Waymo, a better service for half the price, and can scale. How is Waymo ever going to compete against that? Well, the short answer is they don't. And the scaling problem just got clear for everyone to see, as Waymo says that the company's self-driving car fleet in Atlanta will grow to hundreds over the next few years. Hundreds. I mean, this really shows you they have no chance whatsoever to keep up with Tesla when they truly start scaling up robotaxis. Hundreds over the next few years. Tesla will be able to do that in a day. And Fasada also reacted to this and wrote, Waymo's scale issue will be the death of the company. Unfortunately, it will be impossible to compete with a company like Tesla that can manufacture Waymo's entire fleet in less than 5 hours. Yes, Waymo's only path to survival moving forward is hyper-specializing in autonomous vehicles that are not optimized for low cost per mile. Think party buses, sleeper camping, etc. If they don't do that, they are dead. Yes, I completely agree, but I do think that Tesla's robo-van we have not seen yet will be kind of a blank sheet where you can make anything you want out of it, like a party bus, or sleeper cabins, school bus, service van, or whatever the customer wanted to be. So I actually think Tesla even got that covered for a cheaper price as well. But we will see what will happen. But Elon also tuned in to Jet's review of the Tesla Robotaxi and wrote, he was just on version 13. Version 14 is the second biggest update to Tesla AI and Autopilot ever after version 12. It feels alive. Version 14 of Tesla self-driving feels sentient. Damn. Some people are starting to wake up to Tesla's Robotaxi's capabilities like Jet here, but Tesla is even 10x further ahead than what we can actually see. But hopefully, this new update, version 14, will come within the next month or two. And we finally have a victory in the union's demonstration against Tesla in Sweden. As Joe wrote on X, victory. After 600 days, the union mafia IF Metal gives up the strike against Tesla over collective agreement in Sweden. Like I predicted, IF Metal would give up long before Tesla ever would, as they never give up. Now other solutions are allowed. Another alternative is that Tesla write employees' contract that ensures the demand the unions has, says IF Metal's chairman Maria Nilsson to Sveriges Radio. Ironically, Tesla had equivalent or even better agreement since day one. Big, fat waste of time. Yes, but think of the damage the union has done to Tesla with hundreds of companies unable to buy Tesla's company cars and how they have hindered Sweden's green vehicle transition and the expansion of the charging network, and that is for all EVs, not just Teslas. But Alexander here just summed it up in a very nice little comparison as he wrote. Winners versus losers. In the last 600 days, Tesla has ramped up the new Model Y on 3 continents, made Optimus dance like a human, launched a Robotaxi service, shipped full self-driving to China, and much, much more. Meanwhile, IF Metal has sat in a tent outside Tesla's showroom, achieving nothing. Yes, I don't think anything illustrated much better the difference between the disruptor and the mafia unions that get nothing real done. And Ark Invest has made new research looking at what is needed not just to overtaking the ride-hailing service with Tesla's robotaxis, but to overtake all urban transport. Firstly, Daniel from Ark Invest wrote on X, Tesla has launched its Robotaxi. Now what? Read our latest blog for our thoughts on Tesla's Robotaxi launch and how it could scale up from 20 vehicles today to capture a significant share of what we estimate is a $10 trillion opportunity. But in the new blog post, Ark wrote, our research suggests that 200,000 robotaxis, supplemented by privately owned vehicles integrated into the fleet similar to Airbnb, could meet all urban Austin's vehicle miles traveled, as shown below. So not just overtaking the ride-hailing market as today, but taking over the entire miles traveled in Austin by all of its citizens. But as they continued, that said, this estimate is highly sensitive to average vehicle speed and deadhead miles assumption, which can significantly impact the requirement fleet size. Yes, this is very, very difficult to predict, but importantly, urban Austin is a fraction of the addressable vehicle miles traveled in the US. Tesla is well positioned to scale and capture that opportunity, while Waymo relies on partners like Uber, Jaguar, Seeger, and Hyundai. According to our research, the current annual global production of Model 3 and Y could support vehicle miles traveled of any top 10 US urban market, as shown below. State-level regulation could slow deployment, as has been the case of the New York City, but a shift to federal regulatory framework could be the game changer. Now that Austin and San Francisco launch are underway, Tesla is beginning to enjoy three key competitive advantages: virtually integrated manufacturing, data, and cost per mile. That should position it to expand rapidly across other US regions. And don't forget, in a place like Austin where Waymo has to ship their vehicles in, Tesla can literally just send them straight from the factory directly on the street into their fleet. So even though 200,000 vehicles sounds like a lot when we see how slow Waymo is moving, when the Cybercab starts coming off the assembly line next year combined with the Model Y, Tesla can put thousands of robotaxis on the street very quickly, basically every week. And yes, there will be many people that don't want to rely on only a robotaxi as their daily driver, especially in the beginning. But I think most people that lives in the city and have to pay for parking and insurance and maintenance, well, my guess is that most people in the cities would love to not own a car, but just have transport as a service. So sure, not everyone will go for this, but when the cost of transport becomes cheaper than just the running and maintenance cost of a car you already own, a lot of people will shift to transport as a service. And Tesla really seems like the only one that has all the ingredients to make this work at scale and cost. And GM's record EV sales might have a problem, according to AJ. AJ shared a report on GM's EV business, and as he wrote, General Motors' record EV sales have a problem. It was all driven by ramping new products and new product launches. Some new product already sees weakening sales trend after only a few quarters on the market. Trump killing the EV mandate means GM is likely to also dial back EV ambitions. GM, unlike Ford, does not provide numbers for pure EVs. On earnings call, GM only provides some indication around cross profitability, but there is no hard numerical data to work with. However, I expect GM's EV business to be not materially better than Ford's, which is highly loss-making. And they sell close to the same number, so that will make a lot of sense. And as you can see here on AJ's chart, they are rising in EV sales, but in the first half of 2025, all of GM's 9 EV models sold 78,200 units. Tesla, with their much fewer models, sold approximately 255,000 units in the US, just to give you some comparison. More than 3 times GM's sales. And don't forget, this is the year Mary Barra said that GM would overtake Tesla as the biggest EV maker in the US with 1 million units sold. And that was only back in 2021 she said that. So only 921,800 units to go in the second half of this year. I'm sorry, Mary, but I don't think GM will absolutely catch up to Tesla this year as you promised, and will be 6 times smaller than what you promised, or only get to about 17% of your target. Imagine if that was Tesla. The media would have had a field day. But when it's GM, we don't see a single article about it. Quite the opposite, as you can see from this article that has a headline that said, GM surge in EV sales and Tesla stumbles amid Musk controversy. And the only real explanation they give in the article is auto analysts saying aging vehicle portfolio and political environment harmed Tesla sales this quarter. Well, I will bet that GM would love to have Tesla's demand and sell 6 times more EVs in the US. Or wait a minute, that would mean GM would lose billions of dollars. So maybe not, as we don't know how much they're losing, but selling about the same amount of Ford, losing maybe $40,000 a piece is probably not completely off the mark. So if GM sold 255,000 EVs like Tesla in the US, they would have lost over $10 billion. No wonder they're cutting back on their ambitions. But if you think the US EV market is where it is at, you would be wrong, like Michael reminded us all about in his post. Global new energy vehicle sales first half of 2025. China 5.5 million, Europe 1.9 million, North America 700,000, rest of the world 800,000. So if you want to be a leader in the EV market, as Mary proclaimed they were, well, China and Europe is where it is at. And the Model Y is the best-selling EV model in Europe, and in China, the Model Y is one of the best-selling cars in the country. Like I showed in my Overflow News show, the Tesla Model Y did become the best-selling SUV of any kind in China last week. But GM's model? Well, not so much. And now Waymo's current CEO is also coming out with some jabs against Tesla. But you know what that means, right? I talked about in my Overflow News show that Waymo's ex-CEO was not impressed with Tesla's Robotaxi and wouldn't even call them Robotaxis because there was a safety rider in the passenger seat, even though Waymo started out the same way. But now Waymo's current CEO is saying, can you believe he's trying this again, Elon, when his self-driving cars need human in the seat to keep them from crashing? I don't know. There's zero evidence of anything, and there's so much talk about it. We have a whole service across many cities, right? It's not a play to have fanboys. It's a play to, actually change people's lives. Oh, yes. Firstly, the safety rider are not there to keep the car from crashing. The cars are driving themselves and seems to be doing a really good job at that too. And like I will show later in this news show, Waymo has a Robotaxi stock in traffic basically every week. So Tesla's Robotaxi is actually driving better than Waymo's, as the analyst also told us. Tesla just drives better. But what this all really shows me is that Waymo is afraid of Tesla. You remember the saying, right? That first they laugh at you, then they ignore you, then they fight you, and then you win. Well, Waymo has just started fighting Tesla because they feel threatened. Because some might think, well, they both have robotaxis, so they are basically the same, right? Tesla is not disrupting anything because they are just doing what Waymo is already doing. But what some people seem to not get is that what Tesla is doing right now is disrupting the technology and the way they are running and producing a robotaxi fleet. Just like some people thought Apple just made a new mobile phone, not understanding it was the underlying technology that Apple changed. They didn't just make a different mobile phone, they made the smartphone. So yes, Tesla is disrupting Waymo, but not by having a robotaxi, but by doing it with a completely new tech that is actually scalable, and having a car manufactured and everything in it built in-house that is also scalable. I simply just don't see a way Waymo can compete against this. And as the founder of Cruise has also said in an interview I showed a couple of weeks back, you need robotaxis running on AI. That is the right way to go. Remember that?
Tesla, as a company who kind of pioneered the end-to-end neural network approach to self-driving, which I think is the right technical bet long-term. With Waymo, they started off in the DARPA Grand Challenge era of self-driving, which is old school, classical computer vision, classical motion planning. And they built this highly validated, robust system that's now on public roads, and it's great. But they know that it's the wrong technical approach, and they need to move more in the direction of Tesla, of more neural networks.
And it's the wrong technical approach because it's too expensive?
Because it is just intractable to maintain a 3D map of every square inch of the planet and update it in real time, and then expect that every time you go somewhere, the map is still accurate on one hand. And also probably unrealistic to assume that every car built in the future is going to have these giant spinning KFC buckets on the roof. To Waymo's credit, I think they know this, and they've started moving towards a Tesla-like approach.
So as he said, Waymo probably knows this, so they are afraid of Tesla because they have the right tech. So like the analyst said in his note, Tesla offers better service for half the price, and on top of that, Tesla can scale up 100 times faster than Waymo. Waymo knows all of this. They are not stupid. This is why the CEO and the ex-CEO is now coming out fighting Tesla for the first time, because Tesla is about to win. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Tesla revealed their very cool Model Y L this week, as I reported on, but Elon had some very bad news he shared on X. This variant of the Model Y doesn't start production in the US until the end of next year, might not ever, given the advent of self-driving in America. I hope this is only because he doesn't want the car to have a huge Osborne effect on the current Model Y in the US, but I selfishly hope that at least with Europe's slow advent in approving full self-driving here will make the Model Y L a good contender for this market, Elon, because I really want one. But it really does sound like Elon thinks that unsupervised will be completely solved this year. But I think he might be underestimating the length of the transition from normal-owned cars to robotaxis. We will probably have years before robotaxis are available all over the US, but I, of course, don't know what Elon knows. So let's see how this will play out. And we had some post about solar, as Peter here wrote. Solar power in the desert of North Africa is enough to supply 40 times the world's electricity demand. And Max added that solar farms turn desert into oasis, panel shade drops temperature by 2 degrees Celsius, boost soil moisture by 10%, and spark plant lives. China's 1 gigawatt Gyeonggi Park proved that clean power can heal land and not just cut CO2. Also like the Qinghai solar park that has shown the same thing. And Elon also replied to Peter's post and wrote, "True, simple math. Even a patch of Spain could power all of Europe with solar." And Aaron shared this video of full self-driving that drove through a muddy construction area. Just very impressive. Show me anyone else that can do this. Drive a place it has never seen before and with no markings at all, not even a road or not even pavement. And Tesla owners Italia wrote on X, over 600,000 kilometers in a Tesla Model 3 Performance owned by Taxi Dizio in Italy, and only 3,500 euros spent on maintenance. No motor or battery replacement, just minor parts and battery cooling pump. Even the brake pads are original thanks to regen braking. This isn't hype, it's real long-term electric reliability. Exactly. And unfortunately, we see some misguided people still hating toward Tesla owners. But I think this angry fellow here is just angry over the crappy car that he have to drive. And Starlink shared this video and wrote, "Starlink connecting school in Philippines to high-speed internet." And Elon also reposted and wrote, "Connecting the least connected." So cool to see Starlink making life better for so many people around the world. And Redwood shared, "We're working with Caterpillar to recycle batteries from their underground electric loaders. The same machine used to mine the critical materials that goes into batteries, now Redwood ensures those same metals can be recycled and reused infinitely." Nice. And as promised, another week, another Waymo stock and traffic. This Waymo illegally blocks an iconic San Francisco trolley. And Tesla has increased the price of all trims of the Model S and X by $10,000 in the US, but every trim now comes standard with full self-driving supervised, free lifetime supercharging, 4-year premium service and free lifetime premium connectivity, a $15,000 value. 4 years premium service includes tire and windshield protection plan plus maintenance, covers scheduled service including wheel alignment and tire rotation, front camera cleaning and replacement of HEPA filter, cabin filter and wiper blades. Nice, not bad. Really seems to make these the luxury vehicles, and nice to see the Model S and X getting a little love from Tesla. And Devon also shared this video and wrote, "While using full self-driving, I pulled up to a road crossing as the light started to flash. Before the arms had dropped, the car slowed down on its own and stopped at the white line perfectly." This video then shows how Tesla's full self-driving handled itself once the gate lifted, and it's the lead car. Very impressive behavior from Tesla's AI. And now Ferrari is buying Chinese EV to learn how to make great performance EV. As Toby wrote, Ferrari bought an Xiaomi SU7 Ultra and is obviously trying to keep it a secret. Yes, they have fallen behind and is now trying to learn from the Chinese. And stick around to share some aspect about the new EV from Mazda. And as he wrote, "The things look decent. Is it any good? Is there life in Mazda? Mazda 6e, an EV liftback, co-developed with Chang'an Automobiles and built in Nanjing, China. 258 horsepower, 69 kilowatt-hours LFP batteries, 298 miles WLTP range, rear-wheel drive." Not bad, but then I dug a little deeper because it looks pretty nice and even had a frunk unlike all the German EVs, but unfortunately it all came crumbling down when you need to go charge the car. As the top charging speed is 95 kilowatt, it can do a 10 to 80% in 47 minutes. Now that is just not up to par with anyone else in 2025. So nice try, Mazda, but this one seems dead on arrival. The two things people focus on when buying an EV is range and charging speed. So I don't think we will see too many of the Mazda E6 sold on the global scene. But nice try, Mazda. At least it is not like the old one that had no range and even worse charging speed. But before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my new supporters of this channel. My new YouTube member, Rodrigo. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this show. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. Just Ryan making funny content yet again.
See, babe?
Don't spend any money.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Babe, is that a new car?
No, that's our Model Y.
Oh, I thought it looked different. Ryan, what the f***?
That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes and access to all my research charts and spreadsheets also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.